You have no real control over anything except what's inside your soul.
Right.
And if you build your character and you build it from the inside out and you take care of all of the things that you need to take care of as an individual so that you do have discipline and commitment and all of those things, then when the world hits you in the mouth, you're able to handle it. So things like football, when it hurts sometimes and you still get up and go, and things like divorce and the loss of a spouse or a child or the loss of a job, those things don't build character. They reveal what you've built as a foundation to help yourself prepare to handle those situations. That's what I mean when I say football doesn't build character, it reveals it.
Right. Well, what I want to do now is take a break because we've talked a lot, and I want people to have a chance to kind of start Googling and getting some information because there's a lot more to this story, and we'll be right back in just a moment to share it.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org. Life's this hard, graduating can be even harder, but you can help David and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me.
I think it might be one in the morning.
Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
We are back, and thanks for staying with us as we share one of Memphis' best stories that's been told a long time about us. And we have with us in the studio, Coach Bill Courtney, and you all have to check out the documentary Undefeated, not because of football or anything like that, but it shows Memphis people, teens, volunteers, neighbors at their very best, and we don't get enough of that. So I wanted to make sure that we paused long enough to honor ourselves, and who better than to do it on the heels of being a winner of an Academy Award for a documentary, Undefeated.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was nuts. Walking the red carpet is an interesting experience, and who would have ever thought that I'd have had an opportunity to do that? But it was lots of glitz and lots of glamour, and winning the statue was great. But at the end of the day, we need to enjoy it, but it doesn't need to define us, because how deficient would the remainder of an 18-year-old's life be if the best thing that ever happened to him happened when he was 18 because of a movie? He needs to be defined by graduating from college and having a family and raising children to be productive members of society.
Right.
Not defined by a 14-inch piece of gold. So, again, very humbling, very exciting, and certainly we should enjoy it. All of us should, but at the end of the day, I think we need to be defined by things much greater than that.
Much greater. It's just an awesome story. So there are three young guys that are primarily in the documentary. What are they currently doing? Are they part of the 19 that went on to college?
Yeah, they are, and one's playing football at Lane College in Jackson. One's playing football at a major, I don't want to give too much up about the movie, but one's playing football at a major university, and the other is studying to get his, his 2-year degree. He wants to be a firefighter. So, doing great.
So do they go back to Bonanza, or do you, what's going on? What connects you now, other than
we talk all the time.
Okay.
And you know, listen, over the course of 6 years, you coach a lot of kids, and you stay in touch with a lot of kids, and we talk frequently. All of us do. I mean, and you know, there's position coaches, other volunteers that talk to kids all the time, and that pour their life into kids, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't. When the football season's over, the relationship doesn't stop.
Right.
It's just
because
moves
life
on
goes
to a
on.
different- Yeah,
Life goes on.
It does, but it moves on to kind of a different level, and that's typical of any coach in a football team when kids graduate, but certainly we stay in touch, and you know, they're kids, they screw up still, but again, it's not if you're going to screw up. We're all failed. We're going to screw up. It's how you handle it, and I've been very proud of the way that they've handled life after Manassas.
So, being a coach at Manassas for 6 years, what was like the toughest part for you?
The toughest part was in the beginning. The football teams are horribly underfunded, and so they play 3, 4, 5 games, and still do. Many of the schools still do. Manassas doesn't, but go play what's called pay games, and you basically get on a bus and ship out to bigger, much more fluent programs, and they pay you $3,000 or $4,000 to show up, and then they beat the heck out of you and send you home. But that's the only way the programs can raise enough money to pay for equipment. And to me, that was very tough to watch the eagerness and the excitement of game 1, and by game 5, they're convinced they stink, and they already have this inferiority complex and second-class citizen complex, and then all you do is spend 5 weeks justifying the way they feel when you do that. And so I think it's terrible. And so Jim, the guy that I told you introduced us, he and Coach Mack and I started a 501c3 called ManRise. And what ManRise is it replaced the absence of a booster club. And we could raise money into this and give tax deductible donations to ManRise, and then ManRise would take that money dollar for dollar to buy equipment and those type of things, so that we didn't have to play pay games any longer. And then we were able to schedule like-sized programs with like-sized teams. And then as we started winning over the years, we built a program that then didn't have to play pay games, but we could go straight to the same type of teams that were paying us, and we could beat them. So it was fun to come full circle, but that was the toughest thing is watching those kids get beat up, and it was tough, and but that's also part of the success of the story, and the movie will reveal all that to you.
So, without revealing a lot of the movie, what was the turning point from going from a primary losing team and none of the other outside circumstances really changed in the neighborhood, but they became winners? They started winning more games.
We made the playoffs our first year.
Oh, okay.
We won 4 games our first year, and the turning point was quit worrying about a football. Quit worrying about X's and O's. You got to work on you, young man. You know, playing around in the streets and not taking practice seriously and acting a fool in the classroom does not prepare you to handle tough situations.
Right.
And so the minute things go bad on a football field, you fold up and you lay down. Well, that's because that's the way you're leading your life. So let's work on our character development. Let's work on who we are as people. And then once we have a foundation that says, I can handle tough times and adversity, then you're ready to step on a football field. And so it was a lot of work on just people.
Okay, so your program was not necessarily totally about football. It was really about changing their lives from the inside and academically too, and not just athletically?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, again, look, players win football games, coaches win players. And once you win players, you will win football games. But you got to win the players first. You got to have their hearts and their minds. They got to buy into something bigger than themselves. And when they do, they win. Just like life, just like employees in my company, just like you. I mean, if you don't have any substance, you're not going to be successful. Conversely, if you build yourself and you look at yourself as someone of substance, and you carry yourself as someone of substance, and someone that's got a serious mind and is willing to take on challenges, then you will meet obstacles and be successful in them. And so the turning point had nothing really to do with football. There was plenty of talent, plenty of good athletes. It just had to do with building character.
Okay, let me ask you this question, because I really want people to take away from this that anybody can make a difference in somebody's life, and you don't have to have any magic wands or special hoo-haws or anything to reach a teenager and to put them on the right paths. So what was it for you? Because I know some of the guys talked about, one of them had an anger management kind of concern, and here you are, a white guy going into a predominantly black team.
Not predominantly.
All black team, and they have anger issues. They have, not a whole lot going on economically, and grades weren't that great. So how did you come in? What was so special about what you did? Because I want other people to understand they can go out and make a difference in this city.
Walk it. Just I had a Pete Rose baseball once, signed by Pete Rose, and it was dated on his rookie season, and I sold it. And before the guy would give me what I wanted for it, he had it authenticated. He had a guy come in with a magnifying glass and check it out and make sure it was what I said it was. And he authenticated it, and I sold it. Well, likewise, I think kids are the best authenticators of adults that there are on the face of the earth. Okay. Even when they're looking off and you don't think they're paying attention, and they know garbage when they see garbage. And when they see garbage, everything comes out of your mouth is just noise. But when they authenticate you and they know you're for real and they know you're consistent because you walk the very things you're trying to drum into their heads, then they start buying in. And when you can say, I'm not telling you to do these things because I'm an adult and you need to do what I say because I'm older than you. You say, look at my life, look at what I've been able to accomplish, and it's all because I adhere to these principles, and it's all because this is the way I handle myself. Now, you handle yourself, and your future can be bright. And if you walk what you talk, they'll buy in. If you say one thing and do another, they'll realize you're not authentic, and they'll go away from it.
And that's with anybody. So I just want to commend you, first of all, for just taking that initiative and staying 6 years ago into that program, and it has truly paid off in ways that I bet no one could imagine. But more so than that, it helped change lives. It helped change lives. And so if you don't get, and thank you for being here. And so everybody watch, if you don't get anything else out of this show, you can do something to make the city better and to help us to tell these great stories. So, and you create them and we tell them. So thank you all so much for watching On Cable tonight. I'm your host, Loretta McNary, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.